790-2040 is the number. wakeuptucson@gmail.com. So, Joe, I did very little homework, as usual, for this show. But I noticed there was a bunch of hubbub about District 1, and that's the one that Joe Higgins almost won.
That's right.
4 years ago.
I missed it by that much.
Thank you.
Would you
Maxwell Smart?
Would you believe? So in the race, just to recap it, District 1 is basically the Foothills and Marana and Oro Valley.
Yep.
And it is vacated by Ann Day. She's leaving the seat. And there are 4 Republicans in the primary. And
she will not be missed.
And 1 Democrat in the general election. So the 4 Republicans, let me go through them. You got Vic Williams.
Vic Williams.
You've got Stuart McDaniel.
Sure.
You've got Mike Hellon. And you got Allie Miller.
Sure.
So it's 4, the winner of the primary, which the election starts in about 30 days. Your early ballots will hit the mail. The winner of that race goes on to face Nancy Young Wright in the general election.
And a disclaimer, we are big Allie Miller fans.
Yep.
Let's start off right off the bat.
I've gotten to know Allie a long time ago, and she's just someone that charges the hill and doesn't stop. And that's what we need in this community, and that's why I've come out there. The weekly, a little comment from me saying, she's got an MBA. She comes in with a business background. She's worked at Honeywell and Intel. She did program management of big companies, some very accounting background, all those kind of things. She brought the FBI into the Rio Nuevo debate. So I've seen a history of Allie, and I like her.
This district, of course, is Foothills, Oro Valley, Marana, basically. Does that sound correct to you?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple of things here. One of the things I like about Allie is that I know. Now we need to switch Elias or Bronson and go 3-2R. Everyone, even if you're a D, even though you can't believe you need a 3R, you need a 3R advantage for at least 4 years to break this thing up. Okay. I know that if something that doesn't happen and we're still 3-2D, Allie is going to be a total pain in the A dash to the other 3 Democrats and Chuck.
Yep. No, just sitting back and watching it happen around her. She'll be the one up there just constantly raising the issues, going in the media, pushing the issues, which is what we want.
We need that.
Yeah, we need someone. The county does such a good job. They have 8 people in their information office of keeping information under control.
Yeah.
And we don't hear all the stories. Like, for instance, Rio Nuevo was a $230 million boondoggle, correct?
Yeah.
We have spent, as of about 2 weeks ago, $200 million out at Keno Hospital in county funds.
Yep.
We did a $125 million 10-year deal to Keno to give them the hospital and to help them get themselves set. And they burned through that so quickly, we've extended it by $30 million and $40 million. And so all in, we spent $200 million over there, and it's hardly even talked about.
Right.
I mean, is that something that, is it good, bad, indifferent? What's it do? What's the purpose of it? $200 million is a lot of money.
Yep.
As we see with Rio Nuevo.
I'm with you.
Those things don't come out.
Right. I need her because she understands finances, and she's a pain in the butt, a good pain in the butt. That's what I like about her. Now let's break down the other 3 real quick. You have the Stuart McDaniel guy. He used to work with Jesse Kelly campaign. What I've learned is he's way novice. Doesn't know really much about the real hardcore issues of Pima County. And according to the last finance campaign report I've seen. He's got a new phone and likes to hang out at Noble Hops. Okay? Congratulations. Now, let's get to Vic. Vic has, what I've learned, and now I've learned that over the week, that he dumped 125 G's of his own money into his campaign. Mm-hmm. Vic has no friends. He is...
I think he raised 2.
No friends.
Right.
0 friends.
He raised 2,000.
And, I've looked at even everyone else has someone who's semi-endorsed them.
Right.
Some other human being has stepped up and said, I'm for Allie Miller. I'm for Hellon. I'm for... Even Stuart McDaniel has... Quasman probably said, I'm for Stuart McDaniel.
Right.
I haven't found one human being of any office, even Al Melvin and Terry Proud, who are his seatmates in LD26, are endorsed Allie Miller. I don't see anyone who is willing to step up and say, I'm friends with Vic Williams. That's what he looks like.
Then you got the issue of he's the head of transportation on the budget for the legislature.
Right.
When the HERF sweeps or the formula changes or whatever for road repairs are happening. For 2 years in a row, they get swept. Then now that he's running for Board of Soups, he says, I don't want to sweep HERFs. I was before.
He wants to sweep. He's against it. Right. The legislature sucks now. We're talking he should do a sponsorship deal with a flip-flop company that makes sandals.
Here's the quote.
Okay.
Hey, they were HERF funds that I took. Ultimately, what I think needs to be done is the HERF is a constitutional amendment mandating that the state legislature does not have the authority to take those funds. While he's generally critical of current county management, Williams says he hasn't studied the budget enough to make any conclusions about whether the county should have cut more budget in the recent years.
That is the most... How can you say that? Read the last quote about I haven't read the budget.
While he's generally critical of the current county management, Williams says he hasn't studied the budget enough to make any conclusions about whether the county should have cut the budget more than it has in recent years.
I mean, dude, even two morons with a radio show can figure out how much money was not spent from the county on roads. Even with Chuck's horrible, you don't allow anyone to go too deep on the budget, we can figure that out. And you say to Ninsel, oh, dude, I didn't know the budget enough. Don't run for office, Vic. Please. You know, you love to say you're a big fan of the governor. Really? Don't bring that stuff around here. Please. Please don't bring that stuff around here. I mean, but I can't find anyone to stand up and say I'm even friends with Vic Williams in this. I can't find anybody.
It's
kind of pathetic.
It's kind of interesting.
You know, he's like the kid who throws the big birthday party because his parents are rich, right? He throws the big birthday party. He's got clowns, the mechanical bull, rockets, laser show, laser tag, camels you can ride because he needs someone from school to come over his house and play with him, for God's sakes. I mean, that's how pathetic this dude is.
That was me, Ed, when I was a kid. No one would come to my birthday
Chuckles
parties.
the clown.
It was me and everything there.
We got the...
you just struck a big nerve with me, Chris.
You know, hey, Vic, Ethan Orr, who we love. Ethan Orr has a guy who makes balloon animals. Go get him. You know, I got the Wii with the Star Wars game. Why don't you come over and we'll go play Clone Wars together? Really? And then you go find, like, the backup singer for the Beastie Boys will show up for $400 and mom pays it because you get to meet a guy who knew the Beastie Boys. That's what we're talking about, Vic. All right. Let's get to...
Okay.
So Friday night, we're going to get to your calls. Everyone hold on. Friday night, he's on the Ninsel Political Roundtable.
So Mike Hellon has a long history. Ran in 2006 for Congress against Huffman and Graff, and some say kind of skewed that thing out a little bit. Worked for Reagan's Elect Arizona campaign back in the 80s. He has Don Diamond as a supporter, attorney, gubernatorial John Munger, former District 1 Supervisor Mike Boyd, Fred Boyce, Pima County Chairman Linda Barber,
Whatever. All right. So
he's kind of the older GOP side of the wing of the party. His wife ran for office.
So he's bringing up the Ninsel asked him the question because, of course, Ninsel did this article about District 1 and the candidates. And he asked Carolyn Cox, and of course Carolyn Cox played it classy like she should as the head of the GOP and just said, hey, blah, 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 and said nice things about everybody. So then he asked Jeff Rogers, who's the other guest. He is the classless leader of the Democrat Party in this town, and he jumps right on and says, Mike Hellon. He loves Mike Hellon. I wish him all the best.
Why would he pick someone?
What a great guy.
Why would he pick someone?
So Captain Classless, the guy who called the Rio Nuevo board, including people like Rick Grinnell, Carlotta Flores and stuff, cockroaches. He's the guy who said Stegman and Cuevas needs to be tarred and feathered and thrown out into the, basically, they don't understand a multicultural society like this and should leave and be run out on a rail, right? And they're evil.
Mm-hmm.
He says that he loves Mike Hellon.
Is that like a Trojan horse? Like you want him against Nancy Young Wright? Would that be the why?
So that's the thing. So either he likes Mike because he's Ann Day. He also spent a minute and a half saying Ann Day was the greatest thing since margarine. All right.
Here, one more little thing about Ann Day. A longtime fixture in Republican politics, Hellon has the support of two of Ann Day's key staffers, Patrick Kavanaugh and Valerie Samoy. So basically,
and says he plans to keep them
both
as their
retained, and when he runs for office and gets situated.
Like I've said, Mike has hit me as Ann Day with different plumbing. Okay, he was at. So I look at his supporters: Jeff Rogers, Lisa Lavallo, former trio, and she was also on the re-elect Nina Trasoff campaign, and Don Diamond. You're already been excluded from my consideration for running for office. I mean, here's a guy who keeps, I can work with Chuck. No, you can't work with the machine. What have the guy, someone with Reagan, did he star in The Gipper with him? Oh, Arizona campaign manager for Ronald Reagan in 1980.
The Gipper.
Okay. The Newt Rockney story, right? All right. You've been around that long, and you're going to sit there and go, we can work with the machine? No. No, so either you're part of the machine or you're naive, dude. You cannot say that. The machine crushes whatever it runs into if you're not part of the team.
There's a lot of folks that would like things to continue as is, and that may be a vote.
So I can't believe I'm going to rank. Here's the ranking for District 1. To us, Allie Miller's the head. She's head far enough field number 1.
I'll give you a quote.
Number 2, I can't believe I'm going to say this, is Stuart McDaniel, for God's sakes.
Who?
Vic's got to be last. I mean, he is just.
So Nitzel calls for a quote, and we talked about this. She says, Joe Higgins, local talk show host, businessman who unseated Day almost by 5 percentage points in 2008, said he likes Miller for her educational background and her experience working with Honeywell and Intel. Quote, the next election is about job creation and economic opportunities, Higgins says. We've got to start putting people into office who can have a dialogue with either current companies or relocating companies as to what we're in for and how we get more jobs to the region.
Yep.
That's the reason that this is an important election.
790-2048. Let's go pay some bills. It's 7:48 in the morning. Jerry Connie and Emil Franzi's on the line. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go to number 4. It says anything but Vic. So let's start with anyone but Vic. Hey, anyone but Vic, what's going on?
National chair of that operation.
You did a whole hour on this.
Are you going to the killer birthday party for Vic with all the Chuckles the Clown and laser show?
Right, with one candle. We got a couple things you need to look at here. Choke your motor, guys. Now, first off, I tend to be more tolerant than you are, Chris.
Absolutely. You're the Gandhi of local political talk.
I'm moderate.
Thank you, Gandhi.
Moderation is not an epistemology. It is a demeanor.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, you got to be careful here. First of all, let's take Vic for a minute, please. Take my wife, please. How do I know he really loaned his campaign $125,000? Now, legally, if he's claiming it on the forms, he had to have written a check. I mean, he really had to put the money. Now, did he? I don't know that. I know that he's not very trustworthy, so somebody maybe should push a little harder and check that one out.
Well, I'm going to talk to the guys over at the Southern Arizona Examiner. They're the only guys who do any investigative news around here.
Well, actually, we're the only ones that bothered to publish how much money everybody had, and that's what I want to get to.
Yes, sir.
As of May 31st, Stuart McDaniel and Allie were pretty low on funds. The guy who had $40,000 left to spend was Hellon.
Right.
And he also had about 35, I believe, already raised by Nancy Young-Wright. Now, your problem in that district...
Now, Hellon put in 20 and raised 20, right?
Yeah. The issue is you got to beat Vic, because Vic will get beaten by Nancy, because she already beat him in 26 in that biggest Republican year we've had in centuries.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
You don't have Saddlebrook for a kicker up there.
Yep.
So I'll take Charlie Sheen over Vic. Okay, I hate to crib that one from Kinky Friedman on Obama, but hey, what can I tell you?
Would you take Green Party Dave over Vic?
Yeah, he's honest.
Okay.
And my problem, I mean, there's things about Vic we haven't discussed. First of all, he's the guy who waits and sees how the vote's going before he votes. He's the guy that doesn't bother to attend committee meetings. Not to mention the harassment things that have been alleged against him. Basically, he's the worst public official I've seen in 40 years in 3 states, okay?
I think you and I have had that discussion before on the air.
We need to replay it. Our problem here is if he isn't knocked off in the primary, and he does have some money.
Yep.
I don't care. By the way, he's got 17.5 that came from an exploratory committee, but I can't find where the exploratory committee.
He was
put in the 17.5.
Remember, he was running fundraisers while he was in the legislature.
Yeah.
Isn't that not right to take money from one?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the story.
Illegal.
Yeah, that's the story.
And then the element is if somebody would just get a hold of that Capital Times story where they point out that this is a guy who's running against the bill he co-sponsored.
Yes.
I'm telling you, man, someone's got to get here, man.
Well, you got to get that puppy in the mailbox. I don't know who's got enough money to do it. And it's not a matter, my criteria right here is who can beat him in the primary.
Hey, Emil, I got to go. I got 2 more calls and 3 minutes to go. So
thank you for the phone call.
Thanks for the call. Call tomorrow, please. We'll talk more about it.
All right.
790-2040. Let's go to Connie, line 3. Connie, what's going on?